We all start our life as a single-celled zygote. This single cell divides and produces trillions of cells that are genetically identical. That means they carry the same information in the form of the DNA. But in an individual, cells are of different types and they perform different functions. As adults, we have more than 200 types of cell. For example, cells in our ear are sensitive to sound, whereas eye cells are sensitive to light. How and why do the cells that have the same information develop into diverse types with diverse function? Let's find out the reasons. This is amoeba, a single-celled or unicellular organism. In this organism, all life processes are performed by the same body cell. With the evolution of multicellular organisms, there was a need for cells to differentiate. Compare cells with the people in a society. There are farmers, architects, drivers, doctors, policemen, mechanics, and administrators. Imagine how difficult it would be if each person had to do all these jobs by himself. Division of labor amongst the people increases efficiency and comfort. The same is the case with an organism. As the single-celled zygote develops into a baby, the newly formed cells take up specialized roles depending on their location. For example, muscle cells can contract and relax. Blood cells can transport required materials to different parts. Nerve cells perform the task of transmitting signals, and the cells of the skin provide protection. These specialized cells that work together to perform a specific function constitute a tissue. Cells of a tissue are generally similar in structure. One important point to remember about tissues is that all the cells of any tissue have a common origin. Tissues can be broadly grouped into two categories: plant tissues and animal tissues. Differentiation between these two types is because of the differences in the requirements of plants and animals. Plants are sedentary, as they can make their own food. Different plant tissues thus specialize to provide mechanical support to the stationary plant, help in the process of nutrition, or help in reproduction. Animal tissues, on the other hand, show more variety. Animal tissues help in movement, the transport of material to all body parts, sensing the surrounding environment, protection and reproduction. production. Plants and animals also differ in their growth patterns. Plants have specific growth regions. Specialized tissues in these regions divide and help in growth. Animals have more uniform growth. They do not have specific growth regions in their body. In most animals, body organization is complex. Cells form different tissues. Different tissues form an organ. Organs form organ systems, and many organ systems constitute an organism. Plant tissues are divided into two main types: meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Meristematic tissues continue to divide throughout life and contribute to the plant's growth. Permanent tissues are differentiated from the meristematic tissue to perform specific functions. Permanent tissues can be simple and complex. Simple permanent tissues can be of three types: the living, thin-walled parenchyma, living, thick-walled collenchyma, and the sclerenchyma, which are dead at maturity. Complex plant tissues are the vascular tissues that transport material. Xylem transports water and minerals, and phloem transports food and other substances. In animals, there are four main types of tissue: the epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue, and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue forms the internal and external lining of the organs and the body for the purpose of protection. Muscular tissues made up of muscle cells help in voluntary and involuntary movements. Connective tissue, such as blood and bone, helps in a variety of functions such as transport, support, and storage. Nervous tissues made up of neurons help in control and coordination through the relay of messages.